Oh, here we go. Here we go. Avengers Assemble.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Jeff? What's going on, man?
Oh man, just putting in some R&R after a tough game Sunday, and today we had practice.
Debriefing, so to speak, huh?
Oh yeah, meant a little bit of a breakdown from Sunday, but today was a great practice, man. Morale is high, so it's all right.
Okay, so let's do the formalities of podcasting.
Yes, sir.
I am one of the hosts, Stefan Terrell. You can find me on everything. Google it. Everything will pop up. And we are with one of our also Jeff, your host. Your host on Avengers Assemble, okay?
Yeah, I guess so, right?
Just your host too. I mean, come on. Sorry, no. So we're here with one of the intricate parts of the Avengers, Michigan Avengers. Jeff, I'll let you introduce yourself, and then we're gonna jump into a whole bunch of dialogue, and we're gonna start with the pregame. With the game, and then we'll go into what happened at practice.
Yeah. Coach JP, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff under Coach Jeff Piddock or Coach JP. Obviously, I'm the general manager and head coach of the Michigan Avengers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we were able to, we're going to say at home. We scratched the surface at home. Mm-hmm. We had an away game, preseason game. We played against a stacked deck. I found out they was borrowing big jokers from other decks and from past seasons and all that type of stuff. So, but we got that out the way. Then we played. We just played is it Mid Michigan Grizzlies?
Yeah, it was Mid Michigan Grizzly.
Okay, Mid Michigan Grizzlies, and I'm just going just the general, because we'll jump into a lot of it. I was impressed by our performance based on one preseason game to the next preseason game. I definitely seen a progressive trajectory in the play of the Michigan Avengers. That's my general assessment. The line play was of better caliber. Everybody played more in sync.
Yes.
Concept wise, I seen you go back to a couple of plays that were key plays in getting motion. So I saw that through the game. So we're gonna tap into all that. But overall, I would say I'm gonna grade hard, man. The C++.
I'll go with that.
I'm grading hard. That's my grade. So that's my open introduction of what I observed at the preseason game. How about you?
I'm a strong C-. We hands down, we are still not performing what I know this team can perform. I don't know. I'm still working to crack that eggshell. I'm still trying to what's kind of holding these guys back from their true potential. And I'm telling you, we got some guys with some true potential. And today in practice, I saw a whole different team. It's almost like they're getting close. They're not that, they weren't all the way. They were like, in regards to the team on Sunday's deal. But in regards to what we're about to see here, probably this upcoming Saturday, which I will let everybody know that game will be streamed live. I think off 2 different platforms. We're going to try to get it to our Facebook, and we're going to provide links to the other pages. But back to the assessment of the game Sunday. You know, we had it in the beginning. You know, we got to the top of the second quarter, and we were leading 20-8, man. And things seemed like it was moving right where we wanted it. And then next thing you know, a bad onside kick that, truth be told, there was some confusion there, and that wasn't even called. It just somehow hopped in, got put forth, and it was a 5-yard give me touchdown. And then there was a bad snap, 5-yard give me touchdown. And then we had one. I mean, take for granted, you know, the Avengers paid for these refs, and you know, it just goes to show that you can't pay refs to give you because they took a touchdown away from us, and and at the end they threw one, it played it off the boards, and they gave it to them. Just learned today that touchdown shouldn't be given to them, but because it hits the boards and then they catch it off the boards. If there were no boards, it would have been out of bounds. But because they can't catch it off the boards, if it hit the boards, it's over.
Okay, so that was going to be, huh?
I said we kind of, I guess, if you take away that one touchdown, we're still going into third overtime. You know what I mean? So, but you know what? Nobody likes to cry over spilled milk.
Right.
So it is what it is. We'll take the loss as a team, and we'll keep trucking forward. And we got our first season game coming up. It's away, and it's against the Pittsburgh Outlaws, and they're no slouch. We're going to find out if the Avengers were holding back any last week, or if we're ready to compete next week.
So going back to that moment with the touchdown, off the glass. If you know, y'all got to go back and watch the game, everybody. It was a great. I'm talking about if that wasn't a way to open the season, you know what I mean, with excitement, with all that stuff. You know, like, again, there were some calls that we say are questionable, but that one right there, I was going to ask about that, and it's crazy that you said that, because I was like, that could have balanced out what was going on, because I didn't know. I was you know, in the commentating, on the commentating side, because we're not staffed yet. You know, we don't have people, you know, making sure they got our notes and researching and, you know, pulling the rules up and that type of, you know. So I tried to look for it, but, you know, it was just, you know, the game was moving and moving. So that was a critical moment. That was a very critical moment. So how key, like, one thing I used to say as a coach, when I was coaching, I tell my players, I don't care what we do, we not gonna leave it up to the refs.
You know, it's funny you said that, because at halftime they were doing a lot of complaining about some of the calls. I said, look, guys, if you're hoping the refs are going to win this game for you, then you need to go out there and just forfeit, because that's not what this game's all about.
Right.
And even in the end, like, oh man, you know, this couldn't have that. Let's just face it; these were NCAA refs. I mean, they were certified NCAA. Okay, these aren't just like we put the zebra stripes on a bunch of guys in the stand. These are certified referees from the NCAA that got our rule book a week and a half prior to the game. So mistakes were made probably on their behalf, and I'm not, but we're all kind of, you know, those guys, much like us, much like you guys, everybody's starting to find their path in this. And and here's the thing: next year, I can't wait to see what it is, you know. But this year, right now, we want to get through it looking good, of course, and paving the way for future adventures, you know, moving forward.
Right. I mean, so everybody got to start somewhere, and I feel like we're off to a great start. You know what I mean? You know, and we definitely want to dive into the practice, but, you know, I just wouldn't, just going through my brain, and because I had a few when I watched the game a couple of times, and I had all my notes and everything, but I left them upstairs, and I wanted to make sure I was on time. But there were a lot of great moments in the game. I like a couple of players I wanted to highlight. I was studying my the first touchdown, the running back. I think it's number 5.
It was the running back.
Yes, I think.
Well, if it was the running back, that was Taz.
Because as I was going through just finding the rhythm, finding the finding what's going to work for the Avengers, right? I was like, golly, he running like a Tasmanian devil.
Oh yeah, that's why we call him Taz. His last name's Thomas, Taz Thomas. Phenomenal kid. We didn't have him on the first game, which stunk, but the second game, second practice, 3 weeks of practice, he just blew me away with his running abilities. I mean, he can just, tip and turn, and can't wait to see him this weekend, and what he brings to the game.
I was thoroughly impressed. How many yards did he have? That was the one thing that I wasn't able to do. I wanted to try to get in touch with you before this to try to get a stat line. Did we get stats, or how many yards did he have? Do you know?
Their full 7 broke down for me today. I wanted to, everybody's running behind. Like I said, shorts from the last one, short staffed, man. We're trying to.
Right. We getting it together. We're getting it together. It's preseason. This is all the kinks. This is where you calibrate and work out all those kinks. Like, just like you said, Taz coming along. I call him, get down with OTP, Omar. Yeah. So,
Omar's one killer safety. He definitely held.
He saved us a couple times, man. Oh my God!
Fourth quarter, he was over there puking in the garbage can. So he's putting some work in.
Yeah. And so I also want to talk about without giving up game plan, because I know in preseason, just like with exhibition games and scrimmages, a lot of times we're not going for the big guns. We're not going for the to bring out all the trick plays, everything in my Dan Campbell book, that type of thing, that type of, so I understood from a standpoint of it wasn't about just it was about coming out with a win first and foremost. But I know that I think we had talked maybe a little bit about it. You was like, as we're still getting our pieces together, we should have a positive outcome. And I really still feel like even without the score dictating what happened, that was a positive outcome. You know what I mean? Because it was nothing but positive thoughts that I had in where we can get better, because the season is about to start. That's the best thing I'm taking from the whole experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and definitely take for granted that this game was a lot different from Iron Man for sure. This team probably wasn't at the caliber of the Iron Man, but they wanted it. There was, I don't care if you say talent there, they wanted that game. And when we got 20-8 after the first screw up and the second screw up, momentum just flipped, and we're running neck and neck. And our guys couldn't get out of the funk. Their guys started getting into their way, and they just kept coming at us.
I got a good question for you.
Yeah.
If you just had to pick a player of the game, who would you give it to for the Avengers?
Offensively, I'd say DJ, who was a quarterback.
Yes, I agree.
He is leading his offense. He's finding his offense. He's building it. Okay.
For sure.
He's taking control of it. And then defensively, Omar. Safety.
You know what OTP? Yeah.
But take for granted, Omar he's running neck and neck with Marcus. Marcus is a seasoned player, and in my eyes, he's kind of leading the defense right now with picking them up, getting them going, keeping them encouraged. There's another one too that's jumping in there.
Clay Bowens?
No, Chris Bryson. He's a linebacker.
Okay. What's number?
His number is 25 or 25.
Yep. I like him. I wanted to touch on him too. Yep, I like him.
The funny part is Chris used. Well, he was. I can't remember if he said he was part owner or if he is part owner of the Grizzlies. He was on their team last year.
Oh.
Yeah. So because we never planned to play him. They weren't part of our pre-schedule. We had the Legends scheduled for almost a month, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened in Ohio, but they just have disappeared on us. So.
Well, like I said, it's when you starting something, I mean, it would be beautiful to have a perfect start, but it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. You know what I mean? So I want to jump back on the offensive side, right?
Yeah.
It's like so it's beautiful to see it, like when you call a play and it works. You know what I mean?
Oh, trust me, that's the best part for me. I'm also the offensive coordinator, so when I see them hands raised by them refs after a play, I'm pretty excited.
Right. So going into that the throwing touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me hold on. Let me find out what is our rating for us on this podcast. Is it cussing or do we is this PG rated? How you want to go with this? Because
you could push PG 13 or
it was friggin' amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
It was like poetry in motion. What did you like in hindsight? Did you feel like, even with that play, did you feel like you could have threw the ball a little bit more?
I did. I wanted to. That's for sure. One thing I did notice back there is, is some of the players weren't pulling off their routes the way they had to. It's kind of like one of those things where just doing what you want kind of hopped in there, and I noticed a lot of plays like we have what is called a receiver screen where it kind of cuts over, then he cuts back and he's behind the lineman. Well, he caught the ball, which is great, but he also he didn't cut back. He wasn't underneath the screen, so there was no blocker. So he only got like a 5-yard catch on that. But we have some creative plays, and I bring a lot of college attitude to it, which is I'm trying. I'm learning my way too. So I'm playing with I play with fire big time. And we just played some plays earlier today doing RPOs and stuff like that. And, they're standard, but we're mixing it up quite a bit. So hopefully, when everybody's tuning in this week, they'll see some interesting plays from us. And hopefully we can pull them off. That's what it matters. It's pulling them off that makes me excited. But we all got our basic package. So,
So can we just maybe, for the sake of just covering it, because, we want to, try to keep the podcast within 30 minutes, but I want to dive into the general rules of arena football, because that one hot spot was that a touchdown or was it not a touchdown? And like you said, the refs had just got the rules and stuff like that. What are like the main general rules that arena football that apply to arena football?
Are you talking offensively or defensively?
Well, let's go offensively first, since I was kind of alluding about the touchdown.
Well, yeah, arena football is an eight man personnel. You basically got 3 receivers, running back, quarterback, 3 linemen. So needless to say, one of those linemen, depending on how you stack it, can become an eligible receiver. Running back can go up, and you can play like a full deck, on top. So you can go empty in the back, and
So you can do some Dan Campbell big
oh yeah,
man catches, huh?
yeah. We actually have some red zone plays that we mess around with that, but it takes a unique guard or tackle per se to pull that off. Mostly guard, but
Okay.
and basic with it, like you have receivers that can line up 12 yards behind. They can go in motion before the snap, and they can get roaring, top speed. It takes a good defensive back to guard that, So you can send two guys in full motion, which is a lot
Right.
different than, you either got the guys that do their motion and then they come set, and then they go. So these guys can be going 100%. Hit as long as they hit that line at snap, boom, they're gone. And then of course it's a predominantly pass game, so it's meant for guys to jump, receive the ball in the air, get it's meant for aggressiveness. It's meant to when you do it out route, you're pegging the wall if you don't pay attention. It's hockey football is what some people call it.
Right.
So
Right.
but
So
offensively, that's basically it. If as long as you catch it and have possession of it and hit the wall, then it's a touchdown if it's in the zone. But if you don't have possession of it and it hits the wall, it's not a touchdown like what we saw and had a lot of confusion. I mean, the refs, deliberate, talked about it quite a bit, but unfortunately, I didn't have the rule book to scan through it because I don't remember seeing that part in there, and then I had to make a call to one of the commissioners and say, hey, what is this? How does this play in? So, and but yeah, it wasn't a catch. But defensively, you can only blitz one linebacker.
okay.
He has so he's got to raise his hand to let the line ref know he's blitzing.
Okay.
And so you kind of giving it away. It's not a secret. And
so does he have to keep his hand raised, or he just got to indicate it and put it down?
He's got to keep his hand raised until the quarterback comes, to get going. So he's got to keep it for a little while, and then he can take it down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then
okay.
One thing about arena football is it's predominantly, man. Zone is okay. I mean, zone gets played a little bit, but it's tough to run zone in this in arena football. It's mostly a man on 7, man, baby.
Yeah. So catches out routes if it's caught and the possession is there, and then they hit the wall, that's just out of bounds.
Yeah, basically, if they get checked into the wall and they're not going nowhere, it's supposed to be down. If they hit the wall, it's supposed to be able to. If they hit the wall and they're still going, they're supposed to go until it's down. So, a lot of them,
what indicates that it's down? Because if you hit the ball and you catch the ball, I mean, if you hit the wall and you catch the ball,
if
you're
you
not out.
Hit the wall and you can still gain control, it's supposed to be down where you bite a knee.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
You just can't let the ball can't hit the wall and then catch it and be like touchdown, or that it's there. If it hits the wall and it's not touched your hand prior to you hitting the wall, then it's a down. It's no good ball, But if the players are compacting them into the wall, they usually blow the whistle and call it down right there.
Okay.
So kick off from the end zone, and if it hits the netting in the back and drops, it's at. So, by the time the ball hits the net, drops down, you can have 8 guys running up your butt.
Right. Okay. So going into practice today, you say practice was real solid. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I know today we ran our base package, and then we also ran in some plays that we plan to throw at them this weekend. And for whatever reason, we were pulling them off, and take for granted it was just one ups, one outs, and defense. We had our full defense team in there. It was a full 100% go, and we did pretty good. So I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, receivers were catching. there was a lot of build up and team unity and little different atmosphere. But you still always got the team stuff where there's a couple guys that are still grouchy about the fact that they either didn't get played time last Sunday or they don't feel they're getting the reps they deserve. So that's always.
I mean, hey, it happens, but just be ready and seize your moment. And I hope they watch this. Just make sure you're ready. Always stay ready. So big shout out to the sponsors too. We had a couple of sponsors. I wanted to just kind of highlight them again. We got was it landscaping, JDP, right?
JDP Lawn Services.
Yep. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to them.
Yep, and the other one was Offensive Athletics.
Right.
Athletics, the ones that sponsor the jersey and basically sponsor.
So can you talk a little bit about the landscape service? Where do they centrally service or what have you? Right quick.
Downriver, and Monroe, Wayne County, Monroe. So yeah, they're pretty much service that area. A lot of personal residents lawn care.
Okay, and then the other sponsor, what's behind that brand?
Offensive Athletics started out as just a sport brand in regards to athleisure clothing. Much like Under Armour. It's still growing. It's only in its third or fourth year. It's my clothing brand. I've been pushing it for a little while. I'm a MMA guy, so I've been involved with the mixed martial arts world for years prior to this. So
right.
Mostly producing like boxing gloves, MMA gloves, stuff like that. And then we got boxing. We sponsor Derek Miller, they call him D Mill, like 19-0 now, getting ready to go fight some big fights. So we're hoping that our brand will kind of catch a little bit of love from.
Oh, we got to up the scope with that. Oh, we got to. Yeah, we got to touch on with that. Okay.
Well, a football player, so it's.
He's one of the football players.
Well, no, not ours, but like we sponsor him, so he was from Monroe High School, and he's now big time boxer. So.
Okay.
He was tuning in live, watching the game. I've been around the world. Like I know Chuck Liddell and I know all them guys. I've actually got some pictures on my Facebook when I was out shooting with them and everything. So I've been around the MMA world for a while. I had a chance to meet a lot of people, Dana White, all them guys, and moving into boxing, I've been around a lot of fights in that end, and now I'm coaching football. So
right. Just adding to the catalog, and I will say, man, you did a great job, man. You did a great job. Big shout out to the who's the defensive coordinator? Oh, hey. So big shout out to the OCDC.
I'm not proud when I say this, but we have had a terrible time finding coaches. We've had guys come out and make all kinds of promises and then not show up. I had a guy came out, I gave him full control, and I let him prep it, and then all of a sudden, first practice didn't show up, second practice didn't show up. I'm like, I just wasted all that energy. So I'm like, I told Ron, the owner, I said, I'm done messing with it. I said, I'm fully capable of running offense and defense. I said, that's my job. I'm on the field, so I'm going to be on the field the entire game. And, it's like, so when I break down footage, I break it down offensively and defensively and set my plans. So today we implemented our defensive packages as well as our offensive, our 10 go-to plays. And, we're just going to try to keep it simple this game instead of trying to be creative. And we're just going to try to win this with hard-nosed football. We're going to see how that works for us. We're still trying to find our way,
For sure. The Pittsburgh
Outlaws.
Pittsburgh Outlaws. Okay. They next on the chopping block. They because we're about to win this game. I always speak positively and optimistically. because I don't, why put room for anything else? But I really do feel positive about it. I feel like our offense coming together. I feel like the defense is coming together. As they, just lock into the assignments, man, the victory is won. The victory is won, man. Avengers Assemble.
If I could get these guys to put in more practice time, we'd be unstoppable. But right now we're getting about 3 hours a week, maybe 4 if we're lucky. And obviously we're paying out of pocket for venues for indoor because it's so cold out there. And hopefully we'll get some outside here as the season kicks in or goes further. But still I like keeping inside. I want these guys to always be ready to know there's a wall there.
Right. Yeah. That's that does help. So hopefully, with the encouragement of you as the coach and our fans that are gonna see this live, they're gonna get on all of our Avengers players inboxes and encourage them to practice more a little bit more so we can have a good victory, man. And then as the future progresses, I know that we kind of collaborate for the home games, but I know that we're gonna make some away games. I want to make sure that we make sure to get our little caravan together, and because how do y'all travel? Do y'all travel together, or is it hey, we'll see y'all there when you go out of town and stuff like that?
We got two 20-minute person buses that are chartering us out there. So, are we riding in luxury on the motor coach? We're definitely going to be comfortable. I mean, we're only gonna dress 24 for this game, so I'm hoping that I got to go over the roster to try to those guys. But yeah, so we're probably going to be about 6 short from our standard. So, but it's I'm looking forward to it. It's our first away game, so I'm excited for that. Not only excited.
One of my female friends who was watching, she was looking. She said, "Do they have cheerleaders? Do they need cheerleaders?" I was like, "I don't know. I believe they may. I think we do have cheerleaders, but I said I will check and confirm to see what that looks like." So I guess that's the inquiry. Does the Avengers have cheerleaders?
Tell her to hit me up. I know I would love to start developing like dance or cheerleading team for this thing. Obviously football is priority, so we don't have a budget for it, but we would love to work with her if there's maybe ways she can gain sponsorship and do it. So we try.
So we're gonna make sure, and even if I don't know if her inquiry was along the lines of maybe initiating, because I know that she's about it like 25. No, Taryn is 28. No, she's 28, and I know that she does cheer. So she was trying to get on a cheer team if it was already created. So but even with that, it's out here now. All of our women who are interested and may want to collaborate with the Avengers for the cheer and dance, y'all hit us up. And we also go again when we have our next home game. We're gonna put a lot of heat behind the food truck wars. I want to have all the food trucks pull up. We did it last minute, but I think that's something that's really going to bring a lot of attraction, because we got a lot of great food in Detroit, man, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a few out there at our next home game too. So,
well, here's a kicker, and since we're on live, I could air this. I did speak with the management of the Detroit Fieldhouse in regards to the fact that we were promised concessions, we were promised food and beverage, and they did not even accommodate it, nor did they care to. You learned that day. So we ended up terminating our contract, which is sad because I really liked how it was set up for us. But
I did too. I thought in the scope of it where we were, we probably, we just probably need to scoot over in that middle part. But like it's a bar upstairs where we were.
it could have been very great time. I mean, I think we for the fact that it's a 5-person venue, clocked in about 221 people, I think is what the total was, and that wasn't too bad. Could have been better, of course, but still, I mean, every one of the people went to our front door, like, where do we get food? Where do we get drink? Oh, there's a drinking fountain. Well, that way that tarnishes our reputation, and I couldn't have it again. So I demanded certain things be taken care of on our end, and I ended up calling where we train at. Look, me bring in more bleachers, let's place hype, and let's do it here. And man, he jumped on it like a grenade, and we put together a plan of how we're just going to make this place our home base. And I mean, it's going to probably be a lot nicer. And then on top of that, there will be concessions. There will be food and beverage.
And this is at the
Token
Nova.
Nova. Yep, Token Nova East. It stinks that it's not an arena. Hopefully next year we're arena and we can really talk some serious numbers. But currently, to get this program up and running, giving it a very decent looking venue to pull this off on, get good tape, build the fan base, I think it'll get it done. Plus, now instead of our games being on some Sundays, it's all Saturday nights. So now people don't have to worry about going to church and coming to a football game. They come there Saturday night, and I don't want them to miss church, but hopefully they have a good time and get to sleep in on Sunday.
Okay. Well, we have assembled as the Avengers on the podcast. I'm looking forward to all positivity. I'm glad that we got our venue situation. It's a shame that we couldn't, kind of get that locked in, because that was something good for Detroit. You know what I mean? I really wanted to put something around that, but everything happens for a reason. So we're on to Novi, and that's where we're going to be for our home base for the rest of our games on Saturday evenings, which is great. Like you said, it's great. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Well, our schedule got thrown into turmoil, so we ended up getting now we got 3 away games and then 6 home games. So now the fans are getting more games, so that's cool. Getting more games, Saturday night venue. The entertainment's just only going to get better as we learn our way. And, it's same size field, same everything, same size.
Yeah. And also, once again, big shout out to One Single Rose. I know One Single Rose from the acting community. Yep. I've been in a few of her productions, a few of her, she's a writer, director, poet, singer. She does a lot of things. So
I was really, I didn't know anything of her. And one of our ladies that runs our strength and conditioning, which is crazy to, that a bunch of these guys are doing strength and conditioning. I'm a lady coach, but she kicks their butts. And she offered her out, to do it. I was like, well, can she sing? She came and knocked it out of the park. And I was like, man, she's got to come back every time if we can get
Okay, I like that. And then so lastly, I wanted to cover. I know we kind of went over our time, but it doesn't matter. We're assembling right now. Halftime. Our halftime. Is there some color around at a halftime show, or how does that look? And how long is the season halftime? How long is that?
Well, if we were trying to figure out what we're going to do on it. Of course, like I said, we're still getting people to want to be part of it. So it's like we couldn't find much entertainment. So we ended up cutting our down to 10 minutes so we can get back there, get some preemptive planning, and then get back out.
Right.
Normally,
okay. So as it stands, there is another area where if anybody would like to get involved for halftime entertainment, there may be some possibilities here.
Oh, there's tons of possibility. There's a lot of avenues, various different directions to go. So even if dance wanted to come in, part of it, we do the halftime show, we can always figure out a way to do, to build their program, and help it grow as well as,
Okay.
it'd be awesome to be able to get a sponsor to put their dance uniform on and pay for their. So,
Right.
we're a big program, so right now we don't have the sponsorship we need, and not out of pocket.
So again, sponsors. It is your opportunity. Your opportunity to be a part of something great, to assemble with the Avengers. We got to make sure we get that out there. So I'm gonna start doing some I'm gonna take it back, back to the roots of old pavement, hitting the pavement, getting that content, and seeing what we can do on that sponsorship side. Getting some raw content.
I don't know if you saw the numbers on the last, the game was Sunday, so this is Wednesday. We're already up to like views on our Facebook broadcast.
Oh, really? It was. I didn't check it in the last couple of days. What's the numbers again now? Updated?
Just under 9,000.
Yeah. When I seen it, it was at 45. That was a couple of days ago, though.
I think it was
okay.
It hit almost 5,000 by Sunday late night.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. No. So what's today?
Today's Wednesday. So
okay. Yeah.
But
whatever the case is, so that was Monday. That was Monday when I checked. It was at about. It was early in the morning. You know how you get excited. I just woke up like, let me look. But we are building. And we're gonna make sure that just carrying that momentum into our next home games and even our away games. Make sure. Do you know right now what the link would be to catch that away game?
If they Thursday, or hopefully by tomorrow night, I'll have that. But at worst case, Friday. But we're also right now, what little staff we have, we're trying to figure out live to fit with our own equipment. So we're trying to figure out at least stream it so people can watch.
Okay. Well, we will find out. I mean, that's to be announced. So y'all guys, all of our fans, make sure y'all checking on the Michigan Avengers podcast page, Michigan Avengers page, and also make sure that y'all go like the league page, American Arena League 2 page. Is that it?
Yep, American Arena League.
Yeah. So I kind of got lost on there a little bit. I was scrolling through. I'm like, oh, it's a couple. Okay, there's some other teams out here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's good, man. I appreciate you, Jeff, man. Any shout outs, man? Any last words, man?
No, just hang in there with us. We're finding our way. We're gonna give you the Avengers that we tell you we're gonna give you here very soon. I'm hoping
for sure. I'm being I'm gonna support either way. As you will see, I'm a very transparent person. I like to deliver with a little color and a little, but I'm definitely gonna call it like I see it. Because this is preseason, but when we get down to it, we got some grown men, and we have a great team over there. So I'm expecting nothing but greatness from the Michigan Avengers for this whole season, man. I'm feeling like we're going. How many games is it?
Currently, I think we got 10 more to crank out.
10-0. 10-0. Damn it. I mean, dang it. Darn it. Darn it.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm going for 10-0. 10-0 is our league.
Absolutely.
Games.
All right, man. Okay, man. Well, yep. Well, make sure we get all the information, and then you never know what the stars might do. We may end up down there doing the podcast. Well, I don't know. We'll see if we can get the sponsors in the budget, and we'll see if we can put it together. We'll see.
Well, hey, definitely. What's the one we got away? Maryland. That's gonna be going away to Maryland.
Oh,
we got a away game in Maryland, so that's gonna be that's a 9-hour drive. So it's gonna be tough. But yeah, definitely. Just tell everybody, keep up the score, keep up with the Avengers podcast, as well as miavengers.com, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Or Michigan Avengers all the way.
Absolutely. That's a great segue out. Like he said, you can catch it exactly where he said, and make sure y'all log on to Up the Score Network. Big shout out to our producer CJ back there holding it down for us. My the other co-host Coach Steph. Coach Steph, we just hold it down for y'all, man. We loved it. We enjoyed it, man. You know, whether we in Detroit, Novi, it don't matter, man. Hamtramck, we support the Avengers, man. Especially Up the Score. We support y'all 100%. You know, we understand the foundation and developmental, the beginning. So the beginnings. That foundation is just settling in. So we're gonna stay positive about it, and man, we're gonna keep on assembling as the Avengers, man.
Hey, we laid the track over the last 2 games. Now start the.
There you go, choo choo. All right, man. Well, you have a good one, man. We out, man.
We got to get a couple players on.
Oh yeah.
I know. I wish we had practice tonight, so I couldn't even think of who to invite. But we got to do that next time. After this week, you guys got to get some players on. Let them get some press.
We will. Hey fans, it totally slipped my mind. We could have sent a text out early just to remind them, but a lot be going on. We gonna have some players on next week because we gonna need that input anyway. If we're not there, we want to hear the input from the players anyway. So
hey, next week they're talking wins, baby. So you'll be interviewing winners, hopefully.
For sure. And then I don't even know. Usually I would have my other phone out and checking the live to see if people comment, but I didn't do it this time. But big shout out to everybody who tuned in to the podcast. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, and subscribe to Upscore Network and all of the other platforms that we have mentioned. Shout out to the sponsors again, man. And we will keep Avengers assembling and winning, man. 10-0. That's it. 10-0.
10-4. Thank you,
right.
Man. Yeah. Have a good night.